Well, the weather's getting colder, and of course, the holiday season is just right around the corner. And with that, people are looking for ways to help those who are less fortunate. Many organizations around the country are asking for donations, but one organization has a way of allowing people to do something they love to do while helping those in their communities. Hunters for the Hungry. Dr. Jim Byford helped organize Hunters for the Hungry here in Weakley County and has sat down and talked to me about the program. What is the history? Who came up with the idea for this organization?
Oh, gosh, it started some time ago, and I think it started in Texas, probably in the late 80s, mid to late 80s, but I'm not absolutely positive of that. Along about 1992, I got a call from a fella in Tennessee, and he said, I heard about this program in Texas, and I think we can do that in Tennessee. And would you meet with a few others of us and see what we can do to get it going? And so I went to Memphis in 1992, and we sat down with a table of about 20 people. And they were from all walks of life. And we talked about the program. Of course, it's a win-win, a feel-good program that you know you're doing good anytime you can take surplus meat and feed hungry people with it. The hunters were being asked not only to bring the meat in, but to pay for the processing to give the meat away. And by the time they bought pickup trucks and four-wheelers and guns and all ammunition and took their time, it really wasn't right to ask them to pay for the processing too. So the program just kind of stalled. And somewhere in the late 90s, one of our wildlife professors got the idea that maybe he could get his church to donate a little bit of money to pay for a few deer being processed. And he didn't have any trouble raising that money. And some of our students then would go pick up the meat from the processor and take it to WeCare.
So this is a community effort that everyone could get involved in.
Right, that's right. Basically, the way it works today is we have the Weakley County Hunters for the Hungry organization that raises money to pay for this processing. Then we have the hunters that bring in the meat, and then we have WeCare, which distributes it to needy people. And we raise money in different ways, but our biggest way we raise money is the Love Offering Sunday. The first week in November, every year, we ask the churches in Weakley County to donate money for this cause, and they raise over half the money we raise in a year's time in that one day.
Now, there's squirrel season and there's rabbit season. Is there a thing that we do for that?
Well, that would be a good idea, Benita, but the problem is that we don't have a good standard way to process those other kinds of game. You know, if there were enough rabbits taken and enough ducks and so on, we could develop a standard processing. But you don't generally the processing plants don't take rabbits and ducks. And we need a processing plant that's been approved by the State Department of Agriculture as a good place to process. And so that's why we've stayed with deer. And we don't take roadkill deer, for example, because we're not sure how long it's been there, and we could get into a safety issue. So only freshly harvested deer are what we take in the program.
So this is a program that is supported by TWRA, right?
Yes, oh yes. They're very supportive of it. In fact, they have a program in place that if a hunter buys a license and chooses to, that hunter can donate $1 to the program. So they're very supportive, and it does a couple of things. First, they like to see wildlife being used well, but it helps them keep the population numbers down. Our population keeps growing every year in spite of the very liberal season we have because, even though I, as a hunter, can take legally in this county 126 deer this year with my license, I can't use those deer. My family will eat from 5 to 6 deer a year, anything beyond that, I have to stop hunting or have a program like this to give it to.
If you would like more information on Hunters for the Hungry program, contact TWRA, or you can contact Dr. Byford and Hunters for the Hungry of Weakley County. For WUTM News, I'm Benita Evans.